Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a hexagon table topper, but with different pie pieces. Please like this video and follow my channel for lots of fun sewing projects and free sewing patterns. This table topper is so fun because it looks like a bunch of different pieces of pie. I specifically made it for Thanksgiving. I'm actually planning on putting it out on the table and having all the pies on top when people come to choose the pies they want. I think it would be really fun to decorate with. This would also be fun to decorate through all fall if you do a lot of pies at your house, or even for Pie Day in March. You can also add rickrack or something to make the crust look cool. You can add like dollops of whipped cream, anything to make your pie unique and fun. If there's specific pies that your family likes, that's a great way to choose the idea for your pie topper. Then you choose a fun fabric for the back. The bias binding looks like the crust of the pie. This is just a really fun and cute project. You can get the free pattern on my blog. You can find the link in the description, and let's get started. To make the pie table topper, you are going to need a bunch of different fabric colors. You can choose to do the same slices of pie for each triangle, or I'm going to do each one differently. So I'm going to do a strawberry pie. It's supposed to be a pecan pie, but I could only find fabric that had different nuts. I have fabric to look like the crust. I'm doing a peach pie, a pumpkin pie, a chocolate pie, and a blueberry pie. You will need the free pattern to do the hexagon table topper, and then I have both 1/2 inch single fold and double fold bias tape. The single fold will become like when there's a pie topping or a pie crust on top that's like woven. And then the double fold will just become the edge, like the pie crust on the edge. And then I have this really pretty, fall kind of Thanksgiving inspired backing fabric. Now we're going to cut out each different pie fabric with the free pattern. Now for the blueberry pie, I cut out the crust for the big triangle, and then I ironed on some double-sided fusible adhesive onto this blue fabric. Instead of having the blue underneath, that would, it would kind of show through the fabric. So I'm cutting out these kind of teardrop shapes, and I'm going to fuse them onto this pie piece and zigzag around, and that's to get the blueberry pie look, but I won't have the fabric showing through underneath. So now I'm going to peel off the paper backing. Then I'm going to fuse these pieces on here like this. When you're placing them, I didn't do like perfect shape because I wanted it to look kind of organic, like a pie that you cut by hand, or you kind of stamp it out. Make sure you remember there's a seam allowance here on this side and on this side, and then this side's going to have the bias binding. It's going to finish the edge, so make sure it's kind of moved in towards the middle. Now for the strawberry pie piece, I am going to do a topping, the pie crust topping that is woven, but it's like 3 pieces together. So I'm going to just kind of place them out. I'm not going to actually weave them because I'm sewing them, but it will look like that when it's done. Now I'm going to pin all of these pieces in place. I've pinned all the edges on, and then I'm going to sew down each side of the woven top. Now for the peach pie, I'm just going to do like a classic woven look. So I'm just going to have some crisscrosses. I'm not going to actually weave them because that would be a little tricky to do with sewing. Now that I have my pieces on, I'm just going to pin the edges in place so that I can sew down each strip. Now I'm going to take some scissors and trim off all of the pieces that go past the edge. Now I'm going to sew this seam together here like this, right sides together, and this one here, right sides together, and then I'm going to do the same here and here. So I'm creating one side of the pie and then the other side of the pie. And when you sew these seams, you start at the top here and you come down, and when you get to the point in the middle, you're going to stop 1/4 of an inch from the end so that you leave space for the other side to be sewn. And then now I'm going to take this and placing the center seam right sides together, and I'm going to sew this with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once you have all your pieces sewn together, you can press your seams. I'm having the seams that like are with this, like the cross, the seams that have the bias tape in it are very kind of stiff and thick, so I'm pressing those seams away from that. But everything else you can do away from the lightest fabric. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the back. So I decided to not add any batting to in the middle because I want it to be pretty flat so that it will sit nicely on a table, like to put food or something on it. But if you like that look that makes it a little bit like fluffier and you have that quilted look, then you can add some batting in between the layers. So I am placing my top on top of the back like this. And then I'm going to cut the backing. Now I'm going to pin the layers together, and I'm just going to sew, I'm going to quilt the layers together. I'm just going to do 3 big long straight stitches. You can add stitching and quilting in the middle if you like, but I'm going for, you know, a simple pie look. Now I'm going to trim the backing to be the same size as the front, and then I am going to add the bias binding to all the edges to finish it. And that's how you make a hexagon table topper with a free pattern that looks like different pie pieces. I can't wait to see all of the table toppers that you make. Please share them with me on social media, and I hope you have a wonderful day.